I love great conversations. Hi, my name is Angel Jones. Thank you for joining me on 12-minute convos where I help you create a brand of your own unique, real self. Listen in as I have conversations with amazing people from all over the world. Good night, Dane Sullivan. How are you going on this wonderful, beautiful night?
I'm doing great, thank you. It's a beautiful day in San Francisco where I'm at.
That's good. That's great to hear. Well, Dave, please do tell us which of your talents is responsible for us connecting at this time.
Well, we're both podcasters, and you were kind enough to reach out to me on LinkedIn. And I've listened to a number of your shows, and I really enjoy them. They're great.
I appreciate that. Definitely listen to yours as well, right? The Roofer Show. And definitely enjoyed one of your episodes, which is probably the equivalent of 4 of my episodes, right?
Yeah, I've run them for about 40 minutes or so, but yeah. I've put out about 35 episodes so far. I'm just kind of getting going, but I really enjoy it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not up to your numbers yet.
Oh, no, it's cool either way. Like, you don't need to do my numbers to be a great podcaster. He's in a different scenario, most definitely. That guy has something going on. Like, he's too competitive. That guy called Angel.
That's true.
But in terms of the content that you're delivering, most definitely, I find it valuable, not just for the roofer specifically, but even in my business. And we were speaking about this in our pre-conversation. Who did you learn that skill from? The skill of understanding that to grow your business, you needed to learn more.
Well, I grew up in a family roofing business, and I went to the university, to business school. And when I graduated, I came into business with my father. And it wasn't long before he became sick, and I was left to run things on my own. And it was very difficult. It was very hard for me. And I had a lot of problems running it. And so I had to learn, and most of it came through hard knocks and learned the hard way. But I was doing it for 30 years before I retired.
Wow. So you've been up in the air quite a bit, right?
I've seen a lot of it.
Oh, so you've found a way to actually stay connected, even now that you've retired from that part of the business. Why will you continue?
Well, frankly, I got a little bored. It's be careful what you wish for. You might get it. Yeah, so there's only so much golf you can play and, relaxing and so forth. So I missed the business. And so what I did, I reconnected with a lot of the people that I had known in the trade before. And I got into podcasting, and it's a great way to interview experts in the industry, and gave me a chance to reconnect. And I'm very curious, always looking to learn, and I wanted to keep up on what's going on. So the podcasting's been a great platform for me.
That's amazing. Yeah, I could see your ears being tickled by the value of the conversation that individuals bring, as well as the value that your listeners get, right?
Yeah, I think I've been getting some great feedback. It's the only podcast that's really in that space. And 90% of contractors go out of business within the first 5 years. And that's primarily because of the lack of business skills. They come up through the trades. And that's one thing to know the trade, but it's a whole other thing to know how to run a business. And so that's what I try to give my listeners and the contractors is the help and some of the experience, good and bad, that I've had. And the feedback's been great. And it's really been enjoyable.
That's
I think
wonderful.
I've given some good value out there.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, you have one listener here that is definitely speaking to the value that I've gotten. And I'm in Trinidad, so definitely there is a global principle of business.
Exactly. Well, I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Tell me one other thing that you've done, Dave, consistently over the last 3 years.
Well, I'd say consistently, I've gotten into just trying to do physical activity every day. And it's really just trying, it maybe just be, a long walk, or recently I'm riding my bike a lot. And actually I just got back from a 15-mile bike ride here about 20 minutes ago.
Sweet.
And it's great. We have beautiful weather here, so we're able to do it. We're coming into ski season, so I do a lot of skiing up in the mountains. So my goal is to try to do something every day, and it may be just taking the dog out for a walk. But I find that if I can just stay on that consistent, just get out the door. And once you do, you start moving, go to the gym, do something. And it doesn't have to be a lot, but I think consistency is the key.
Yeah. And how does it make you feel?
Well, I love it. It clears the mind. And I know I'm feeling better. It's just great to get outside and get the air. And I've never regretted a day or a workout. Once I've gotten out there, it's been difficult to push myself, but afterwards, it's always been great.
Yeah, I think the entrepreneur definitely has a challenge with stopping the work to go work out. Why would you suggest to them that they even consider doing a bit more of the workout part?
Well, everybody's going to feel much better, and everyone's so stressed and running around now, and it's just something that really relaxes people, clears the mind, and just so much better off for it. But what we're coming into the new year, and what I've seen so often is January 2nd, everybody joins the gym, right? So, you can't get into the gym for the first couple of weeks, and then first part of February, most of those people have dropped out because it's such a big commitment and so forth. Where I tell people, just get a dog, take the dog out for a walk. Do something small that's easy, and just don't take on these huge goals. But it's something that really makes a difference for me and really cuts down on the stress and improves the relaxation.
Love it. Well, amazing audience, you're hearing it live here from Dave Sullivan. Again, he is the podcast host of The Roofers Show. Again, The Roofers Show, you could definitely check that out on everywhere podcasts are available. Well, Dave, let's switch gears for a moment now, and let me invite you into my time machine that is surrounded with beautiful, warm, blue Caribbean water. Dave, what is your earliest childhood memory?
Well, this may not be the happiest of memories, perhaps, but I can laugh about it now. But I remember a time when my older brother was having a birthday party, and we were all in the backyard, and everybody was playing. And I found a yellow jacket nest in the ground. It was a bee's nest. And for some reason, I decided to put a stick in the nest and kind of mix things up. The bees all came out. Everybody was getting stung. Everybody was screaming, running, and it was a bad scene. But that's one of the first memories that I have, and that's always stuck with me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Why do you think? So, how old do you think you were?
I was probably 5, right around there, maybe 4 or 5. I was young. That's one of the first. When I thought about it, that's one of the first memories that really came up.
That's amazing. Well, how do you see that memory connecting to who you are today?
Well, I remember I was in big trouble. so maybe I've had a few troubles along the way, but. Everybody was pretty mad at me after that. A lot of us ended up in the hospital with bee stings. I wasn't very popular, so I was in trouble for a while.
That's amazing. Hey, well, can I offer an interpretation to the thought picture you created in my mind?
Please.
It's funny, and it'll definitely sound funny, but I'm still intrigued because it's the thing I've seen in the picture. And it is exactly how important a roof is.
That's true.
I mean, even for those bees, right? They needed a roof, right?
Until I came in and mixed it up.
Exactly. So it just speaks to the value as well as being covered, even in the business aspect of life, right? Being covered and having that protection, having what's necessary to cover your assets. Because, hey, you could definitely end up with a bee sting.
I like it.
Oh, you're too much. Hey, well, Dave, we've arrived at our destination. Or before even we do that, hey, what was your favorite song when you were 12 years old?
Well, I think I'll probably date myself, but this was it was by Steppenwolf, I think, Born to Be Wild,
Yeah.
and it was also from the movie Easy Rider.
Yeah,
So
there
that
we
was
go.
that was a long time ago.
You know, I could see you guys running from the bees, all wild, and hearing that theme song, "Born to Be Wild." Dun, dun, dun.
Right.
Oh,
That was it.
well, Dave,
That was about that.
yeah, we've arrived at our destination, my friend. But before we get off of this time machine, there's a small declaration form. So it's yes or no, possibly a bit more. We're going to move pretty quickly here. Are you ready, Dave?
Let's go.
Dave, have you chosen someone to pass on your skills to?
Well, no, I haven't. I had my 3 boys, which I was hoping they would go into the business, but they were smarter than I was, and they all went into tech down in Silicon Valley, and they're all doing great.
That's good. That's good. Are you married?
I'm divorced, but I've got a fantastic girlfriend of 15 years.
Oh, there we go. There we go. So you said you have 2 boys. All right.
I've got 3 boys.
Oh, 3 boys. All right. Do you believe in God?
I don't, but I'm agnostic.
All right. Do you have an inner circle of friends?
I do, and I call them my pallbearers because you need to have 6 people that you can really count on to carry your casket, right? So I'm fortunate enough to have those.
Well, you're the first to say that, my friend.
Well, that's what we tend to call each other, I think.
That's good. Well, do you watch TV for more than 3 hours a day?
Yeah, I would probably pretty close because I like to watch movies, and I'll watch the news and then maybe catch a movie. I caught Jason Bourne movie last night, for instance.
Yeah, great movie. What about screen time? The phone and the computer, is it more than 8 or less than 8 hours a day?
It's probably more than 8 hours on the computer, I would say.
If you, Dave, had to share with us your own unique real statement that represents Dave Sullivan, what would you say that is?
Well, say enjoy what you do. Do the right thing, be a good person, and most importantly, laugh a lot.
Yeah, love it. And do not stick that stick in the bee nest, right?
That's a good lesson.
Well, Dave, this has been a great pleasure. The pre-conversation and this following conversation. Before you leave, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
I'd tell them to listen to a lot of podcasts. You can learn so much from people all around the world. It's like, how would we have ever met without being podcasters?
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's fantastic. And if you ever want to learn about small business, you can listen to my interviews, I interview experts on my podcast and called theroofershow.com.
I love it. Dave Sullivan, thank you for being on what is inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones.
And thank you so much. It's great to talk to you.
Thank you for being on 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. Stay tuned for more from our advertisers.
Diabetes is a mountain pandemic. It's a disease that's not acute but chronic. Similar to this rhyming method, I have simplified the definition, the signs and symptoms, and the complications of diabetes for both adults and children in my books, Poems for Patients, A Focus on Diabetes, and The ABCs of Diabetes for Children. These books are available on Amazon.com, and for more information, you can visit my website, poemsbyaj.com. That's poemsbyaj.com.